Again with CIA, and I cover crypto with data and facts, and also try to look at the general market and economy so we can make good decisions. And today we're going to talk about where we're at with alt season. Sorry guys, it's been a while. I've been busy, but now that alt season is just looks like it's just around the corner here. I'll probably be getting on here more often, and I'm definitely searching for new projects. This is the time when founders decide to launch stuff and people begin marketing. So it's a really good time to look for new projects and possibly buy into new projects if they look good. All right, I made a rule: post your wins in the comments when you get a win. And if you're running from the tax man, definitely don't post your wins because that would be stupid. But hopefully you're paying your taxes and you post your wins in my comments. I wanted to give a shout out to Daniel McWilliams, 5886. He said his best win was Render. He made a 20x bag in 2022, and it's been the best win of his crypto journey. So congrats, Daniel. Props on the win, and I hope you get more in this bull run. Let me share my screen and we'll look at a couple of kind of where we are in the alt season cycle. And let's check off the boxes. There's a couple things that I always want to see before we get into alt season proper. First thing we want to see is we want to see Bitcoin reaching new all-time highs. And we obviously saw that a couple weeks ago. Our previous all-time high over here was around 73,000. We touched that. That was like a triple top. We broke through that after the U.S. election. Donald Trump was really good for crypto. He's promised to bring crypto businesses into the U.S. So obviously, it was very bullish for not only individuals but institutions who have aspirations of getting into crypto or just making some money. And Gary Gensler stepped down. We kind of, after the election, we knew his time was limited anyway, and that made a lot of people bullish about buying and holding Bitcoin and other cryptos because they know that they're much less likely to get prosecuted for if you have a government that's pro crypto. So anyway, we saw Bitcoin break out to new all-time highs there. We just touched the top on the Stochastic RSI. We maxed out there on Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, a nice correction here. We already started to see one. I could see one that's even a little deeper. As far as where we have to go in the future, I still think we've got more room to run. You can see here on the weekly RSI, we haven't quite hit that trend line that we haven't broken for about a decade, a little over a decade now. So it's a pretty solid trend line. So I think Bitcoin's got a little bit further to run. I could see it hit one of these next two fib lines around like 100 and 112,000 possibly. But I don't see it going to 200 at least, unless we'd have to break this trend line, and it's pretty solid support. So I don't know if we're getting there, but that doesn't mean that we won't see a strong alt season or an alt season at all. Because if you look at altcoins, and let's see if we can pull it up if I have it here. I don't think I do, but if what I was saying, alt season usually begins after Bitcoin is topped or while it's in its explosive mode. So there it is. There it is. Let's change the color of that. Orange is for Bitcoin. I don't know who's using orange for altcoins. So these are all the altcoins. I'll make it purple. And you can see it's the weekly chart. You can see what happened last time. Once Bitcoin topped, then kind of got up here close to the top. That's when we really started to get, and it started bouncing around up here. That's when we really started to get movement in altcoins. You can see that a little bit here too. So altcoins are a little bit delayed, so no worries on alt season. We still have time. One of the other things we want to see is stable coins. We're going to look at liquidity in the crypto market, and we had throughout the summer we had a lot of sideways movement on liquidity, and we had a little bit of pump here, but this is kind of when we saw the lows in Bitcoin down, around 50,000. So that was not good to see. And obviously, when you're seeing that sideways action, there's no money to pump Bitcoin up. So it was nice to see after the election. Actually, I think it was the day before. No, it was the day after the election. Yeah, we just got a huge rush of liquidity into stablecoins, which was phenomenal to see, and obviously has helped this crypto rally. So that is good to see. Now remember, you need increased liquidity to have crypto pump, but just because liquidity is increasing doesn't mean that crypto is going to pump. And this is important near the end of rallies. So just make sure that if you're looking for tops, don't be looking at stablecoin liquidity or total amount of money in stablecoins, because you're generally not going to see this drop off. You're going to see this increasing while Bitcoin decreases in price, or while cryptos decrease in price and the top is in. So liquidity will be going up, even though crypto markets will have topped and are crashing. So just keep that in mind. Now let's look at others. Others is just it's not really neat. It's an index, right? It includes all of the altcoins outside of the top 10. So if you go on like Coin Market Cap or CoinGecko, look at the top 10, take those out. That's all of the others. This is what this chart is in the candle. So what we did see is we saw, we'll talk about the makeup of it later, but all you need to know is it's all the altcoins. Anyway, what we did see is we saw that breakout that I talked about was about a month and a half ago, in beginning of October, end of September there. And we confirmed that breakout. We have several candles. This is the weekly, several weekly candles above this and outside of this trend line. And then we actually even tested it again, which is really good to see. Really strong sign. And we've been pumping off that. Now, I wouldn't call this officially alt season yet, and I'll tell you why in about a minute here. But this is a great sign that alt season is on the way. It's kind of a precursor, a harbinger. Obviously, there's no guarantees in life for trading, but this cycle has repeated many times. And once we broke out of this wedge and had a couple of these candles above the wedge line, makes altcoin season much more likely to happen. And now that we've rallied off this, confidence in alt season is very, very high. So I'm expecting it to come. Obviously, not financial advice, but I did want to, we maxed out here on the Stochastic RSI, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a short correction here. But I want to look at the 2-week Stochastic RSI here, and 2-week chart. See very strong strength in the 2-week, and this is a sign to me that we'll see continued strength, unless we could see a strong correction, but unless that correction occurs, maintains over a long period of time, and say like we'd have to probably see it for 3-4 weeks. I don't see this momentum fading away, and usually we don't see that in these bull cycles. So we didn't see it on the last one over here, and we didn't see it on the run up here, right? Once we came up, we didn't see it again. So anyway, really strong signal of momentum. Yeah, if you go back to 13, you don't see it either, but you can take a look at that if you'd like. Now, what we're looking for to officially call alt season is we're looking at Bitcoin dominance. It's a really good one. You can also use Bitcoin over Ethereum, but I like this one because they're very similar charts as far as determining when alt season is. So if you plot others again over, I think I have that up on this one either, but if you plot others again, which is all the altcoins, over Bitcoin dominance, You can see when you get a decrease in Bitcoin dominance, that's when you get the peak of altcoins. So it's hard to see here because it's so small, but in price change. But this is where you get, this big drop here is where you get alt season. And once again in 2021, got the big drop. Started all the way up here, got the big drop. That's when you have altcoins pump here. Now, I just a word of caution when you're looking at the bull cycle of 21 and 22. It's important to understand that this peak over here, this peak over here is actually a bounce. And I think we got lucky just given the financial conditions at the time. If you look at this on Bitcoin, we didn't see a higher high, but we did in altcoins. Basically, you had more time for these later launching projects to take off. Solana was one of them. If you look at Solana, it correlates with this peak here. But we were very lucky to get this second peak here. And I would not count on something like this, and by what I mean is like this thing was about a year, half a year to 3/4 of a year between peaks, and generally we're not going to see that type of spike. Now, back in like 17, we saw the same bounce in about the same time period. Crypto loves to repeat on time frames. I think it's partially because it's such a young asset, but anyway. I would expect to see a bounce, but I would not expect that bounce to be as strong as it was last season. And that's just to say that this drop in Bitcoin dominance is a significant indicator. And once we start to bottom out here, I think you gotta, in my opinion, you gotta sell before this Bitcoin dominance bottoms out. But yeah, once you're starting to bottom out here, you're pretty much looking for opportunities. If you're still holding, your only opportunity to sell next is the bounce. Whatever that ends up being, and you'd be lucky to get this again. So just a word of caution on the future. But where are we at now? We've got that nice pump in altcoins. We haven't pumped over that high in March. So we're waiting for that breakout. After that breakout, I think we'll see some really strong moves. Up to depends on which index you're looking at, but up to over $1 trillion on some of the other ones. I think you'd be about 1.6. We can look at that at some later point. But let's look more here at Bitcoin dominance. So we have seen a nice decrease here in Bitcoin dominance. No real strong move yet, but I do think this is the top here. For a couple reasons. In trading, we look for convergence, and a couple things converging here is we've got these two candles with really large wicks on the upside, meaning it's basically been sold down. If you want to look at it like that, I mean, this is basically just a ratio, so nothing's really being bought and sold here. But you can see the strength is to the downside. Basically, sellers of this chart are winning, if you want to look at it that way. And the other thing is we've seen some really nice negative divergence. So we've seen going all the way back to October, arguably, back to June even. But you see this price action. It's the ratio increasing. Whenever you see an increase in price, or the number, we'll call it price because that's the easiest way for me to convey it here. But you see increasing in price and decreasing in RSI. That signals a directional change is coming, and it could be longer out. I don't think it is, just based on the fact that we've broken that wedge on others. Bitcoin's at a new all-time high. There's great liquidity being added to the crypto markets. So I think all those things converging make it a really good sign that we are about to enter alt season here. And then one more thing that I really like to see is when you look at stochastic RSI on the 2-week, we see this really nice rollover here. Now, it's not confirmed that this is going to run down yet. We could still bounce, But I don't think we're going to. I mean, my intuition and just look and the way the patterns look on the chart, it looks like this pattern is just going to roll over and gain momentum to the downside. So we want to see this crash to enter alt season. But I do think there is a correction. Might last a week, might last a little longer, or we could be off to the races in a couple days over Thanksgiving as well. There's really whatever the correction is, I think it's going to be short term, because that's the way these bull markets usually run. So we'll see what happens. No promises. But before I go, I want to talk quickly about OGPU. I'm a big fan of OGPU, and I think they're continuing to impress. We had a really nice run up over the last couple of days. I mean, if you remember, we called this out down at like 20 cents. It was around 5 million market cap. Now we're at 65 million market cap. It's just amazing, guys. So if you if you got in with me on OGPU, congratulations. I do want to say there's a lot of big news coming to OGPU. Usually looking at the charts and the momentum on OGPU, I would say that this is most likely, just a small correction. But there's fundamentally so many things coming to OGPU. We could see OGPU go like truly parabolic in the next 4 weeks. We're waiting on a mainnet launch. We're also waiting on a SEX listing, but they're working very diligently towards a marketing push. They're having meetings right now, bringing marketers on board, like in-person meetings with some of these marketers as well, which doesn't happen very often. And when a project goes to the lengths to meet with potential KOLs or whoever's going to be marketing for them, like in person, that's just a different level of care about your project. That's an additional layer of detail where you're able to have a conversation and really convey like the message and meaning behind the project that you're building and the value that it's creating for the marketplace. So I think all those are very good signs. The marketing, if it comes out here in the next couple of weeks, there's also I didn't want to give out anything. They don't want me to be out there in the public, but it's in the Telegram chat, so you can look at it. You can look at all the hints coming about marketing. There's a guy with like 1 million followers that they're supposedly having a meeting with in the Telegram. So I'm not giving that one away, but yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a huge project. Not to mention all the technical things that they're doing, which I will do a video to cover, hopefully here over Thanksgiving, because I think it's super interesting, and it just the things they're doing. I think the structure and the way they're implementing some of the things in their blockchain. I just think it speaks to the way that they're building the project such that it's going to be a very, very profitable and like useful blockchain, which you rarely see that in crypto these days. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, if it got some value from it, I'd love to have a subscription from you. Other than that, please throw your best wins down in the comments, and we will celebrate them. So thanks for watching, and have a great Thanksgiving, guys. If you're not from the US, have a good week.